All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And of course, if you're on my email list, you've got my email this morning about this coronavirus, and I really just felt I needed to come on and talk about that today instead of the funnels. You know, I was going to talk about 2 simple funnels that you can create in your business, and we'll get to that. I'll probably come Monday and teach that, okay? But today, I really felt like, since I've saw all of the comments and all of the concerns on Facebook and in the various different groups, people are starting to feel the impact of what's happening in our world and how it's going to affect our market, okay? So I wanted to just kind of recap a little bit for you, and I want to ask if there's anybody watching this in replay, go ahead and tell me in the comments below if you are in this business, in the market, in, say, 2006, and experienced what I call the Great Depression, all right? It wasn't a recession, let's just be honest. It was a full-blown depression as far as I'm concerned, all right? All right, but if you were in the market in 2006, I want to know, all right? Because you probably have a little bit more insight than maybe someone who obviously was not, okay? And that's my dog, I'm sorry. My old dog in. All right, so, and the reason why I say that is because it feels a lot like that, okay? And the reason why I say that is because I don't know about you, but I have like I said, I have a lending background. I was a mortgage lender for about 15 years, a mortgage broker. And when 2006 rolled around, the first lender to close their doors in our market was a huge subprime lender called Taylor Bean and Whitaker. Hey Kelly, how are you? All right. On a August day in 2006, we got scuttlebutt rumors that Taylor Bean and Whitaker closed their doors today. You know, that was the first indication that I saw in our market when the housing market started to collapse. So it started early in Central Florida, so I don't know about your market. And it didn't really manifest itself until probably 1 or 2 years later, didn't it? Right? But let me tell you, you can see the writing on the wall and how it's going to affect us. All right? You're not going to feel it today. You're just not. Okay? So don't get comfortable with that feeling, right? Okay? You're not going to feel it a week from today. You're not going to feel it 3 weeks from today. You know, because you've got momentum behind you now. Our market has a little bit of momentum behind us today. But as that momentum and as consumer confidence starts to drop a little bit, people are going to really reassess their short-term plans, okay? And when that happens, that's when we're going to start feeling that crunch. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to feel it in the short term. When you're going to start to feel it is 3 months from now, okay? Because it's going to take that long to manifest itself and really affect us in the housing industry, okay? Because let's face it, a simple virus, we have survived many viruses in the housing industry, right? But nothing to this extent economically, all right? When people are, looked at the possibility of being out of work for the next 30 days, that is just going to continue to roll on down the line. You know what I mean? There's an old saying that I've been thinking about the last couple of weeks, and it's like, our society is really only 9 missing meals away from anarchy. You think about that. 9 missing meals away from anarchy. If 50% of our population is living paycheck to paycheck, you know what I'm saying? And they start missing 3 days worth of food, it's going to start to turn into anarchy. Now, I'm not gonna put an aluminum hat on, and it's not the end of the world. It really isn't, because today we have economic stimuluses, and the government will step in, and we're not going to come to that, but there'll be people that'll feel that way, definitely. Okay, so I want you to focus. I want you to really rethink today what the future is going to be like throughout the end of this year for the housing industry. Now, traditionally, as long as employment, sustains, right? The last housing crash occurred because the income levels didn't keep up, and because the jobs started to fall off. All right, that's our housing industry is connected deeply to jobs, not necessarily, viruses in the market, okay? Or, whatever happens in politics, all right? But the stock market will definitely undermine some consumer confidence. So that's happening, all right? And then when people start missing paychecks, they're not going to qualify in the near future, all right? So those are some things to keep in mind. So what I want you to do, I'm gonna be very honest with you. This is what happened. When I saw the writing on the wall in 2006, we went to our cabin probably December 2007, and I remember distinctively having a revelation of what this could manifest into, right? My prediction came true. But let me tell you what we did. I mean, we came home from our cabin in 2007 that year, and we decided we were going to wipe out our debt. We had the cash, and I don't know why we were carrying credit card debt or any other damn thing at the time. 2007 was the last time I carried a credit card balance. When we came home from the cabin that January, we paid off every single debt we had. Every single debt we had. Because we knew going into that type of a market and a recession was looming over us, we had to be debt free. And I'll be honest with you, that was just a pivotal point in our business, and it was a huge decision to move our liquid assets and pay off debt. It wasn't easy, but oh my God, once we did that, we were so relieved, right? And I will tell you, it is probably the only thing that saved our business through that recession. We survived that recession because we were debt free, all right? I saw half of my colleagues go bankrupt in our market. Half. We had, we're a small board. I mean, we got probably 900 agents in our board of realtors, and I know some of you in huge markets have 900 people in your own brokerage firm. You know what I'm saying? So we're Mayberry. I'm not kidding. But when you see half of your colleagues go out of business and file bankruptcy, you sit back and you know that you did the right thing to pay off that debt, right? Okay, so that's the number one thing I want you to do. This week, I want you to really assess your assets and your liabilities. And in the short term, you need to focus on getting yourself debt-free any way you can, or close to it, okay? Everything but your mortgage, hopefully. I don't have car payments. I haven't had car payments in probably 15 years. But credit cards. I mean, credit cards will be the death of you, okay? And I had to laugh, when I saw them politicians up there yesterday on TV. Oh, we're going to make lots of loans. Yeah. The government will be there. They'll be there to help with loans. Don't take them loans. Don't take them loans. If you even qualify, I don't even think that realtors qualify for any of these damn business loans. You know what I'm saying? All right, so the next thing I want you to do in the short term, the next week, I want you to look at all of your reoccurring expenses. You know what I'm saying? Look at the tools that you're spending $10 here for, $15 here for. Those are the little things that'll just eat you from the inside, if you don't pay attention to those things. There may be tools that you don't use anymore, things that could be consolidated into another tool and eliminated, but get yourself lean and mean. Lean and mean. I'm telling you, lean and mean for the next 12 months minimum to see what's happening in this market, in the industry, and the impact that this is going to have. Because we are just starting this. We are just starting this journey, okay? Trust me on that one, all right? And the biggest thing you have to take into consideration when we're going through something like this, or I want to get you through the next 6 to 12 months, your marketing is going to be vital, okay? Now, the biggest mistake that business owners will make in hard times, when they cut back expenses, they cut back their marketing budget. And that's the last thing, okay? I mean, that is the last thing that you want to cut is your marketing budget. If anything, I would ramp it up. I mean, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be ramping up my marketing because it's going to cost you more, and it's going to take more to convince someone to move forward in an unsteady financial market, okay? And you can't afford to fall to the wayside or, not be on someone's radar if they're willing to step out on faith, and move forward with a transaction, okay? So you don't want to cut your marketing expenses, anything but your marketing expenses, okay? That's my experience. And you have to be, as we move forward over the next 6 to 12 months, you have to keep a keen eye on what's happening in your market and be prepared to pivot, okay? Be prepared to pivot. Like I said, in 2006, when I knew what was happening, that's when we started doing BPOs, REOs, property management. We diversified our income, okay? Because we knew we didn't want to just depend on buyers or sellers for that matter. I mean, we actually dominated our market when it crashed here because we pivoted. You know what I'm saying? We were the first ones in our county to figure out what the hell a short sale was. And the only reason why I was able to do that is because I went to my library. I pulled off my program, How to Handle Short Sales in the 1990s by Craig Proctor or somebody. You know what I'm saying? These are the knowledge that I have invested in my entire career sitting on my shelf. So when push comes to shove and I needed to dust that off and listen to that again and brush up on how to handle a short sale, it was there for me. Long before the gurus could even update their programs to put that kind of data out there. We knew what we were doing first with short sales. And we streamlined that process for our market. We set precedents about the way the transaction was going to be handled in our market. We did. We seriously did. All right. So I don't want you to underestimate this situation. I don't want to scare you, but I don't want you to underestimate this situation because I want you to be in business 5 years from now. I really do. And in the way I see some agents operating their businesses, they're not going to survive this. They're not even going to survive they're not going to survive the first wave blip. You know what I'm saying? The next time their license has to be renewed and they have to invest in continuing education, they're out. They're gone. They're done. Agents don't have the foundation to sustain this type of this type of market that we're heading to as a result of this situation. I don't know. Do I think short sales are going to be? It's kind of too early to tell. Like I said, I don't think we're going to have a market crash so much, unless this continues. And, I don't think if it's a short-term situation and it's resolved in the next 30 to 60 days, for example, no, we're not going to have a short sale situation. All right. We're going to have a definite disruption in your business because it takes you, theoretically, if you take a week off, It literally takes you 6 weeks momentum to get back to the point where you were prior to taking a week off. All right, so keep that in mind. So if we're going to take off 2, 3, 4 weeks here, you know, if the whole world is going to shut down for 2, 3, 4 weeks to be quarantined, you know what I mean? It's going to take 6 to 12 months to get that momentum back up and running in your business. All right. So I don't think we're going to be headed to short sales, because I think our government is a little bit smarter today. They know what it's going to take to sustain people's employment situations, income levels, and that kind of thing. Okay. You know, what happened previously in the market was, you know, it was affected by employment, but people were crazy because the lending guidelines were so loose. Literally anyone back in 2005, 2006 could get a mortgage with no questions asked. Who's taking off? Well, I don't know if you watched the stock market yesterday, Kelly, and I don't know if you have people like, you know, things like this in your industry, but the NBA, no March Madness for basketball. All the sports have shut down. Yes, look at the news, Kelly. All of the sporting events for the whole season, I believe, or the next 30 days has been closed. The NBA has been closed down. All the sporting events across the United States are being closed down. Entire school systems for states are being closed for weeks. Okay? Walt Disney World and Universal Studios for my market is going to be closed for the next 2 weeks. Realtors go. Nobody should know. Realtors don't get to take off. You know, they just don't get to take off. They're self-employed. You know, they're just going to continue to go through their motions until they got no more motion to go through, right? You know, realtors don't get to, you know, and that's a good point too, because in another group that, you know, oh shit, I lost my whole train of thought. I had to, yes, my kids are off for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, see, so when that starts to happen, you know, it's going to start a rippling effect. It's going to start a rippling effect. We don't know if we're going to have benefits for the next 2 weeks. Disney was my call. Yes, mine too. Mine too. I mean, Disney never closes. Like I said in my email this morning, Disney World in Central Florida is like the pinnacle. It's like our lighthouse at the end of the storm. Floridians are used to shutting down. I mean, every time a hurricane blows into town, our businesses have to shut down. So we are accustomed to short-term slowdowns in our market. You know, when a hurricane's coming, you can see it 3 or 4 days in advance. Everything slows down. When it gets into our box, lending shuts off, insurance shuts off. We're done. We're done until that storm passes. So we're out maybe 6 or 7 days every time a storm blows to town. You know, so we're used to short-term blips like that and getting things up and running and keeping things moving. But I'm concerned. I am concerned when Disney closes their doors for 2 solid weeks. I'm concerned. I am concerned because Disney is like I said, I mean, it's just a money-making machine. Who's going to shut that damn thing down for 2 weeks, right? That had to be a huge decision. That's going to cost them millions of dollars in revenue. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the workers. Oh, no, that wasn't a carnivore cough. Don't be concerned. Every time somebody coughs, we're just looking. You know, I went to the grocery store yesterday and I watched 3 people do their grocery shopping with rubber gloves on. I'm not going to say I didn't wipe off with some tissue, but I did go with rubber gloves on. All right. So I don't know. Any other questions? Any other concerns? I really want you to get yourself as debt-free as possible. I want you to look at your expenses and cut them back if necessary. If you're planning on hiring, I'd put that on hold for 30 days. I really would. I really, really would. I'd wait to see how this is going to play out. I'd wait to see if how it's going to turn, what's going to happen when it turns. There's a lot of open-end variables right now for us in our industry and our market. And all we can do is sit and pray and hope and, keep our fingers crossed, because, we don't have any control over the situation. You know what I'm saying? All right. I was hoping to talk about funnels today, and I wanted to jump in to recap on everybody's welcome message they posted over the last week or so, and dive deeper into those conversations. But I don't want to continue, I guess, unless anybody else has anything to add. As we were telling her, we are waiting to see. Yes, I would too. Yes, I would definitely put that hire on hold. Yeah, for 30 days, and stay liquid on your cash. Definitely stay as liquid as you can with your cash. All right, but keep going. Just keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing. Really, because there's just too many unknowns right now. Yes, this is a perfect time. This is a perfect time to scrub your databases, get them, cleaned up, get your email up and running. Yeah, this is a perfect time to just keep busy, because you know what? If you slow down with the slowdown, it's that much harder to get the momentum up and running. So think about all of the things that you can do that are free of charge to keep your momentum going. And I'll tell you one thing right now is going live on your business page consistently. So get that going too, Kelly. All right, get that going too. Up and running. If you want to get a group started, just you and me, like we talked about in the funnels, we'll set up a practice group and let you go live in there several times, make you feel more comfortable. And you want to definitely go live on your business page. That's something you can do free and easy, and you get a lot of juice out of that. You can turn it into an engagement post. You can do a lot with a live on your page. And those are some things you definitely want to keep moving along, okay? Yes. And look, going live is definitely going to be something you can do very inexpensively. I'm going to be revamping all of my ads today. I worked on it yesterday, played with some new ad in there in Facebook, and they didn't like it, so they rejected it. So to them, when they reject an ad, that's it. I can either correct it or not correct it. They rejected it first because they said one of my links was broken. Okay, easy enough. Thank you. I'll fix it. I checked them. They weren't broken. So, all right, well, they rejected it again. Forget about it. I'll just delete the whole damn ad and do something different. I'm not gonna go back and forth trying to argue with them. If they don't like your ad, they don't like your ad. You know what I'm saying? I think it's because I created a user experience, and when you click on it, it's supposed to flow like 3 different links that you can create. So I created search here, search here, search here, 3 different links in there. And I don't know if that's something they didn't care for or not. I'd planned to go back into their business development side. I have an ad account. If you have an ad account, you can get some help if you don't already know how to do that directly with some ad managers. You can actually speak to a human being. I have, definitely. And they'll help you work through the ad portion. That's about all you'll get support for from Facebook, because of course they want your money. So I figured I'll make a phone call or try that today, but if not, I'll just go back. I'm going to go back to what I know works instead of trying to do something new and funky. All right. So I'll be doing that today. And let me know what else you got going on. But God, keep your fingers crossed, man. Just keep your fingers crossed. And I feel like it's yesterday, honestly, I felt like it was September 11th all over again. I could not take my eyes off the news as that stock market continued to plummet, and then the news of all these industries were closing and the sports were shutting down. Okay, you want to do a quiz, and the answer page would be a listing page. Excuse me. Scratchy throat. Let me just get something to drink here. Okay. The quiz and the answer page would be the landing page. You